Eskom has taken over the implementation of load shedding for the City of Ekurhuleni customers. The power utility says the city was not adhering to the code of practice in this particular regard. Let's get more details now and speak to Amanda Qithi, who is the Communications and Stakeholder Manager, Gauteng Eskom Spokesperson. Thank you so much for your time, Amanda, this evening. So was the municipality not implementing load shedding, or were they doing so partially? What was going on here?
Good evening, Bongiwe, and good evening to your viewers. The City of Ekurhuleni was partially implementing load shedding, especially during the day. But what we did notice is that in the evening, they would not implement load shedding. So during the day, they would partially implement it in certain areas, but in the evenings, they were just not implementing load shedding. And this is something that we monitored and did our analysis over a period of time. So hence then the decision to start implementing load shedding from our side.
So during the day, as you say, in some areas, so it was not all areas that were experiencing load shedding even during the day?
That's correct.
So over how long were they doing this?
So it's been over, it's not once that they've done it, and we have engaged the city about them not implementing load shedding. Even last year, there was a time when they were not implementing load shedding, and we took over, and upon their request for them to start implementing it from their side, we agreed. And also we agreed that they implement for their critical loads. So there's been that a time when we allowed them to implement, and we took over, and they requested us to let them load shed their critical loads, and we allowed that to happen. And lately was then us handing load shedding back to them. And so this is then the next time that we are actually taking over. So it's been over a period of time that they've been doing this.
So what precise reason are they giving for this?
So they would say that they would load shed the customers, but when we monitor, they don't load shed. And they have also at times cited reasons around the difficulties that they have in terms of implementing load shedding. And we have said that we can appreciate the fact that they do have challenges when they need to implement in certain areas. But based on the analysis that we conducted, you can just see that it's not just in a particular area. It's most of the areas where they're actually not implementing load shedding. So you'll find that in the day they do implement it, but in the evenings they're not implementing it in the very same areas. So that just shows you that it has nothing to do with the challenges in terms of the equipment or any other reasons. But that's basically the reasons that they've cited, that they do experience challenges, but we've spoken about it, and they would say that they will go and implement, but we've noticed that they are not doing that.
Is one of the reasons maybe the fact that, I've been seeing reports in this particular regard as well, that they're saying that there are some areas where there seems to be a high concentration of industries and they're worried about economic activity? Was this part of what they put to Eskom as a reason?
So we do, even with the City of Ekurhuleni, their customers, especially the industrial customers, if they apply to them for load curtailment, they would then review the submissions from those industries, and then they would determine if they're able to put those industrial customers under load curtailment. So this is purely just customers. It's not industrial customers that they have been excluding from load shedding. It's the bulk areas within the municipalities that they have not been load shedding. It's not just where they've got a concentrated area with industrial customers.
How much strain does this put on the grid?
It's a lot of strain. If I could tell you, if we talk about, we looked at how much they were supposed to shed, for example, to reduce on the 11th of July. I'll give you an example. In block 14 or block 16, let's say in Germiston South, we requested that they reduce about 55 and no load shedding was done, 55 megawatts, and no load shedding was done in that area. And also again in Albertine and in Springs, I think it was more than 100 megawatts that they were supposed to reduce, and no load shedding was done in those areas either. So you can imagine the constraint that they're putting on the utility, on us as Eskom.
And that's the point at which, I mean, one thinks about the unfairness of all of this. And I'd like to, take from one of our viewers, Tebogo Cass. He says that Eskom should, implement punitive measures and should subject the city of Ekurhuleni to an extra level of load shedding for having let the rest of the country endure load shedding while they were unduly shielded. Because surely this is a sentiment that will probably be shared by a number of our viewers tonight. What kind of measures will be taken against the city for this?
I mean, as a start, I think it's just a matter of us taking over, just so that we ensure that the load is distributed evenly across all the municipalities. And then secondly, we will obviously look at what other punitive measures needs to be implemented. And we will obviously engage with the municipality to ensure that this does not happen. But as a start, it's just us making sure that load shedding is actually implemented, because if we don't, we are going to see higher stages of load shedding being implemented, whereas we can prevent that from happening.